You are marrying next month. Look at the contract. You will get ready.
No, I can't, please.
You have no choice. Sign it.
No.
You are getting married to Emeka the mechanic. I cannot believe Amara actually wore that outfit. Like, is she serious right now? Somebody tell her to come and take lessons from me, Big.
In the busiest city of Lagos, where wealth, determined respect and poverty was treated like a disease, lived a beautiful young lady named Amara. Amara was the kind of lady people noticed without even trying. She had a soft, dark skin, intelligent eyes and a quiet elegance that made people turn their head whenever she walked into a room. But beside that beauty was pain buried so deep that her smile looked tired. Her mother has died when she was 12 years, and that was the beginning of her suffering. Her father, Chief Okafor, was once a wealthy transporter and businessman. He loved Amara dearly and treated her like a princess. But 2 years after his wife's death, loneliness pushed him into marrying another wife named Ngozi. Ngozi came into the house pretending to be kind and caring. At first, she cared for Amara, braided her head, and called her my daughter. But immediately she gave birth to her own daughter, Vanessa. Everything changed. The mask fell. Ngozi became so cruel. She turned Amara into a housemaid inside her father's mansion. At 16, Amara washed every cloth in the house. She became a maid. She does the cooking, the washing, the sweeping, and every other chores, while Vanessa does nothing. And apparently, she became a spoiled brat. Her stepmother even had to stop her from attending parties or any event around the house because, according to her, she claimed that responsible girls don't move around. And Chief Okafor, he become blind to everything. It's like the stepmom control him completely. Whenever Amara tried to speak, Ngozi will cry and twist the story. Your daughter insulted me. She is becoming so disrespectful. She wants to destroy this home. And the old man, who is exhausted from business trouble and workload will simply shout, Amara, apologize to your mom. Mother, that word always pains her heart because Ngozi never treated her like a daughter. She have never. Years later, things become even more worse when Chief Okafor business collapsed after a terrible financial scandal involving his partners. His cars were seized, property sold. The family moved from their luxurious mansion in Lekki to a smaller duplex in Sulela, and that was when Ngozi bitterness multiplied. She blamed Amara practically for everything, for their downfall. You brought bad luck into this house. Since the day you were born, she would scream. Vanessa, who now become a spoiled social media girl, treat Amara like trash too. Look at your face, she mocked one afternoon. No man will marry a poor, frustrated lady like you. Amara endured everything in silence. Amara worked at a small fabric store to support herself secretly. Unknown to everyone, she had dreams. But what is your dream when the people you live under determines how far you will go in life? Amara wanted peace. She wanted love. She wanted family. A life where she would not wake up being afraid. Then, one evening, her stepmom stopped into her room with excitement. Prepare yourself, she said, oh. You are getting married next month. Amara was frozen. What? Ngozi smiled wickedly. A man has come to ask for your hand in marriage. Amara heart raced. Who? Ngozi laughed mockingly. A poor mechanic man from Ajegule. The room was filled with silence. Amara thought it was a joke. But Actually, it wasn't. Ngozi has arranged everything. Apparently, the mechanic named Emeka has visited the house weeks earlier to repair the faulty generator. During the visit, he saw Amara and quietly want to know more about her. He looked poor, very poor, and I think that was the main reason the stepmom had to agree in him marrying her in the first place. He wore a faded cloth, drove an old bike, and spoke humbly. Ngozi saw it as an opportunity immediately. She doesn't want Amara marrying rich before her daughter Vanessa, and she especially wanted Amara to continue suffering because she never wanted her to escape suffering. So she accepted the proposal immediately without Amara consent. At first, Amara tried to stand on her ground. "I'm not marrying him," Amara said firmly. Then there was a slap. Ngozi hit her hard. "You useless girl," she screamed. "Who else will marry you? You think rich men are looking for girls without connection? We are going to marry him, and my decision is final." Chief Okafor sat quietly in that review room, too weak to intervene, and that was what broke Amara the most. Her own father did nothing. He said nothing. In fact, he didn't do anything. The wedding preparation was humiliating because Ngozi wanted to disgrace Amara and make her a laughing stock in the neighborhood. Ngozi told neighbors that Amara was even lucky a mechanic even wanted her. Vanessa mocked her online. Some people dream of private jets but end up marrying bike riders. The relative laughed. Nobody defended the poor Amara. On the wedding day, the ceremony was painfully simple. No luxurious hair, no expensive decoration, just a modest church garden. Even the food was limited because the stepmom doesn't want to release her money. Ngozi intentionally wore a gold lace that is brighter than that of the bride outfit so as to disgrace Amara publicly. But something strange happened during the wedding. Emeka remained quiet despite all the insults. He was very kind, oh, very calm, too calm. While people whispered about his cheap shoe and old car, a simple smile. And when the pastor asked if he has accepted Amara as his wife, he answered with a confidence that startles everyone. "With all my heart." For the first time in years, Amara felt sincerity. After the wedding, Ngozi smirked at Amara, packed her bag. "Enjoy your suffering," she whispered. Vanessa laughed loudly. "Send us picture from the mechanic workshop." Amara entered Emeka's old car with tears in her eyes. She expected the worst, a tiny room, a struggling life, endless hardship. But instead, Emeka drove past Ajegule, then past Yaba, then past Ikoyi. Amara became confused. "Where are we going?" she asked. "You will see," he replied calmly. Finally, the car stopped in front of a massive mansion in Banana Island. Amara stared in shock. Security men rushed forward immediately. "Welcome back, sir. Welcome back, sir." They all greeted. "Sir?" Amara was stunned. The gate was open. Luxurious cars were lined in the compound. Housekeepers stood outside respectful. Amara's mouth trembled. "What is this?" Emeka turned towards her slowly. "This is my home." Her breathing stopped. "What?" He smiled gently. "My real name is Emeka Williams. I own Emeka Oil and Logistics." Amara nearly fainted. Everybody in Lagos knew that company. It belonged to one of the youngest billionaires in that country. The man beside her wasn't poor. He was extremely wealthy. Tears began to roll down Amara's face immediately. Not because of the money, but because for the first time in years, someone has chosen her sincerely, without pride, without humiliation, without condition. Emeka explained everything later to her that night. Years ago, according to him, he lost his mother because greedy relative married her off for money instead of love. Since then, he promised himself he will marry a woman with a pure heart, not someone chasing wealth. So he disguised himself as poor, often moving around like an ordinary man. When he met Amra during the generator repair, he noticed how she offered him water despite being insulted by Ngozi moments earlier. Meanwhile, back at Ngozi's house, chaos explodes days later when the news broke online. Billionaire CEO secretly marries unknown women. That was the topic for the week. Pictures of Amara inside the mansion flooded social media. Vanessa screamed in disbelief. The stepmother nearly collapsed. What? Chief Okafor was silent. The entire neighborhood mocked them. You push away your blessings. You call him poor. Foolish woman. Ngozi born with jealousy, especially when she discovered that Vanessa has once tried flirting with Emeka during the generator visit, but he ignored her completely. That humiliation destroyed her pride. Weeks later, Ngozi and Vanessa visited the mansion, pretending to reconcile, but their intentions were evil. They wanted money, not just money. Immediately they arrived, Ngozi started crying dramatically. Oh, my daughter, we miss you. Amara remained silent. Years of pains flashed through her eyes and through her mind. The insult, the beating, the humiliation. Vanessa forced a fake smile. Sister, congratulations. Then she noticed the luxurious around her and became desperate. She wanted to even seduce Emeka shamelessly, touching him unnecessarily, wearing revealing clothes during the visit. She tried everything, but Emeka ignored her completely. One afternoon, Vanessa enters Emeka's office half naked while Amara was away. I know you married the wrong sister, she whispered seducingly. Emeka's face darkened instantly. Will you get out of my office? Vanessa moved even more closer. And she was like, you deserve someone better. And Emeka had to give her a resounding slap. The slap echoes across the office. Vanessa froze. Emeka pointed towards the door with pure anger. Never disrespect my wife again. That scandal exploded quickly. The stepmother tried to twist the story, but security footage exposed Vanessa completely. Their reputation was ruined. Nobody respected them anymore. Even Chief Okafor finally realized the damage his silence has caused because a father supposed to defend their children. One night, he visited Amara secretly. When she opened the door and saw her father looking older and broken, tears filled her eyes. I failed you, he whispered. That was the first genuine apology she has ever had from him. Amara cried in his arms. Years of pain melted away. But the biggest twist comes months later. Chifoka suddenly suffered another severe stroke. This time, Ngozi, the stepmother, had to abandon him completely after discovering that he had secretly transferred his remaining property to Amara before collapsing. She disappeared with another man. Vanessa followed her mother shortly after. The same people who mocked Amara were now begging her for help. But Amara has changed though. Pain has matured her. Instead of revenge, she chose wisdom. She paid for her father's treatment. She opened a fashion business. She empowered struggling young women. And beside her stood Emeka, the man everyone once called poor. The man who saw her value when nobody else did. One evening, during a charity event, a journalist asked Amara, if you will come back in time, will you still marry Emeka knowing how everything happened? Amara smiled softly. Then she answered, they forced me to marry a poor man. She held Emeka's hand lovely, but God was hiding a king inside him. And for the first time in her life, Amara was happy.